Okay, coming to you live for January 5th, fresh out the gym. I may not look like it, but I definitely was just there. Um, Coming to bring you January 5th of the Daily Stoic. And here we are, January 5th, Daily Stoic. 366 meditations on wisdom, perseverance, and the art of living. So, as yesterday we understood what the big three were, um, mind blowing things. So, let's continue with our journey of living better, having a quality of life, and really finding out how to live with intention. Because the month of January is all about clarity. We've been getting clear about what we can control and not control, and what we should be doing and how we should be behaving to create more peace of life for us. All right, so here we are, January 5th. Clarify your intentions. Goes right along with the theme of January, which is clarity. So let's clarify our intentions. Quote, let all your efforts be directed to something. Let it keep that end in view. It's not activity that disturbs people, but false conceptions of things that drive them mad. Seneca. Very nice. I really like that. Efforts be driven by something. I always encourage people, write your goals down. You see that up there? That is my vision board. I do one every single year. And I have an entire theme about what I want the year to be about. And I go from there, whether it's physical, it's mental, it is spiritual. It's all there in some sort of creative category as it comes to my mind. And I get fully prepared for this. And it's like the end of December. And I literally go to the Dollar Tree and I get all these supplies and stickers. And because me and my investment in me and my intention and my clarity, I want it to be so clear. I sit here and I look at this every day, even when I'm looking at it or when I'm not directly looking at it. It is always playing in the back of my mind. So my intentions and everything I do aligns with that. My values, my goals are all in alignment. So everything I'm doing, it goes in that direction. I've set the goal and it looks like this. So when things are showing up and blah, 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 I'm like, do I make that decision? Is it in alignment with where I want to go? Or is it kind of a lateral move or a segue or a distraction? So I think this is awesome. False conceptions of things that drive them mad. People are like, oh, I got so much on my plate. I get confused. I can't stay motivated on my own goals because I get distracted by other people's stuff. You should probably write your stuff down and then put a checkbox. Oh, I worked on my stuff today. Pretty simple stuff, yet very, very effective. You will not get distracted and spending random time doing random things and feeling like, oh my God, there's just not enough time in a day. There isn't, but whatever. We're not even going to go down that rabbit hole today. Law 29 of the 48 laws of power is, I like how they bring in other things here. Plan all the way to the end. I try to tell the people closest to me this all the time. Plan all the way to the end. Where some people are like, oh, I can't do all that. It's just not all that's not happening right now. But that's where you're making a mistake because you're just only, oh, I live in the moment. That's why your moments change and your goals are never accomplished. You can play something out into the end because that way you know if every step you're taking is going in that direction. Hey Siri, what if she was like, I don't really know about the way we're going to get there, but we'll just figure it out. How about we make left turns and right turns randomly? Let's just live in the moment. You'll fucking never get to Disneyland. Anyways, but it depends on how you like your directions. I prefer mine very structured and I want to be actually going to the address I punched in. But you see, I have to punch that address in order to get there. Ta-da! It is the same thing with your goals in life. You have to put the end in order to know if you're headed in the right direction. It's not that simple, but it is. All right, you have to plan all the way to the end. Robert Greene writes, by planning to the end, You will not be overwhelmed by circumstances, and you will know when to stop. Sometimes people are like, well, how do I know when I get to be successful if I'm going to stop or am I going to keep doing this? Well, you won't if you wrote down, here is my end point. If you have an end point, cool. And then if you decide when you get to that, I want to re-up, I want to level up, I want to go one more round, then fine, write that to the end. But you always have to determine something at the end. How do I want to look? How do I want to feel? Because otherwise, how will you know you're done? I don't know. Anyways, gently guide fortune and help determine the future by thinking far ahead. The second habit in the 7 habits of highly effective people is begin with the end in mind. I know everyone has heard this. Begin with the end in mind. I think people are just like, oh yeah, I just begin with the end in mind. No, you don't. What does the end look like? People are like, I don't really know. Then how do you know where you're going? Oh my gosh. It tears me up. It tears me to pieces when it's just like, and I always am like, okay, how would you get there if you don't know? It's just like directions. Anyways, I'm not going to get all flustered about it. Having an end in mind is no guarantee that you'll reach it. No Stoic would tolerate that assumption. But not having an end in mind is a guarantee you won't. Okay? I can guarantee you won't reach that goal if you don't set out with the end in mind. If you don't have a end goal, you will never get there. But I can't promise if you do set the goal, then you might get there. Then people be like, then what's the whole point? Those are the people you do not waste your time going back and forth with, because they miss the entire concept and choose to be argumentative and factual and just love to hear themselves talk. I guarantee you. And I doubt they've accomplished anything because they're spending time to argue with you about something that it is what it is. Like, anyways. So, to the Stoics, oases or false conceptions are responsible not for disturbances in the soul, but for chaotic and dysfunctional lives and operations. When your efforts are not directed at a cause or a purpose, how will you know what to do day in and day out? So for my devil's advocates out there that wanted to argue, well, if you say you can't guarantee I'm going to get to my goal, then what's the point of writing it down? They tell you right here, when your efforts are not directed at a cause or a purpose, how will you know what to do day in and day out? How do you know what you're doing? How do you know what direction you're going in? Because you didn't set an end goal. Fucking Siri does not have, oh, where do you want to go? If you just be like, hey Siri, take me anywhere, she'll be like, where do you want to go? I don't know. I think I'm gonna try this out after this video is over. Hey Siri, where do I go? But anyways, when your efforts are not directed at a cause or a purpose, how will you know what to do day in and day out? How will you know what to say no to and what to say yes to? Remember a couple days ago, the important thing was learning how to say no? Because if you're busy saying yes to everything and that's not in alignment with where you want to go, can we see how we will be taking a left to Funky Town regularly? You cannot focus on your goals. How will you know? How will you know when you've had enough? When you've reached your goal? When you've gotten off track? If you never define what those things are, how will you know? The answer is you can't. You cannot. And so you're driven into failure, or worse, into madness by the oblivion of directionlessness. Directionlessness, okay? If you don't know where you're going, you don't know what to say yes to, you don't know what to say no to, you don't know if you reach your goal, you don't know if you're off track, you don't know if you're on track, you're going to be driven into failure, or worse, into madness by the oblivion of directionlessness. Okay, so unless you like directionlessness, which breeds probably freaking madness, apparently, it's the baby Okay. Directionlessness breeds madness. That's your first child's name. What are we going to do? So, all in all, it does sound like have a clear goal in mind. Write it out. This is what I want to do. And then put some check boxes if you know you are making steps in that direction. How else will you know? So, everybody, bottom line, get clear with your intention. I think that's well put. Clarify it. Clarify your intention some way, somehow, whether it's on a massive poster board like I do or on a week by week planner like I also do, right? So that way you know every day I'm waking up, am I in alignment with where I want to go today? What is my goal today? Some people wake up and be like, shit, I'm going to just let the world give me whatever it is because they think that's profound. I'm just living present and in the moment and just taking it as I can. So when it takes you nowhere, well, it'll just be, okay, then I probably shouldn't hear any complaints out of you if you just fucking wind out nowhere. In oblivion, right? Take responsibility for whatever it is you can control. That is just you. I love it. So let's be clear about our intentions together and learn something from this. And if you are already doing those things, shit, congratulations, more power to you. Just keep strengthening. And if you feel lost and confused, go back to that goal you wrote down and remind yourself, and even shrink it and make it a little smaller and say, you know what? The big picture is overwhelming. Let me scale it down to like the month or the week or today. Today I'm working on this particularly for this reason. And break it down and give yourself rewards and little trophies and attaboys and congratulations. And yeah, you did that today. Because life is crazy and hard. And the more we have all these crazy COVID variants coming out, we don't know where we're all headed. It's frightening. It's terrifying. But at least if you're clear about your goals, you do know you're working towards something for a reason. And that's going to bring you satisfaction, happiness, quality of life. And you can still live it up like YOLO. Because you do only live once. Why not live with intention? All right. That's my soapbox for today. I thank all the Stoics that are out there listening and giving me feedback, good or bad. And those of you who have stayed tuned in to day 5, congratulate yourself. You set out and said, hey, this book will somehow be helpful for me. I can understand or master this art of living. I want to add something to my life. So today you reached the goal. Today you were clear with your intention of what this book was about and what you were going to do and how you were going to carry that through. So congratulate yourself. You are still on track. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Keep the messages coming in. I love them. The feedback. Insight Me on IG. You can email me at insight.me@gmail.com. I love to read it. I love to see it. And you guys take care. Be kind to yourselves and be clear.